This week we take you on another construction detour as we show you our trip to Fläm, Norway. A beautiful, just breathtaking country full of waterfalls, beautiful fjords, wonderful people, food. We had an excellent time, but if you want to not stick with us and you want to see the construction updates, you can skip to the end. But we hope you join us on this journey. It's worth seeing. Norway is a country in northern Europe. It shares land borders with Sweden, Finland, and Russia, and has extensive coastline along the North Atlantic Ocean, Norwegian Sea, and Bergen Sea. Fläm, Norway, has been inhabited since the year 1340, has about 350 residents, and 450 annual visitors, mostly due to its cruise line. You can arrive by car, bus, boat, or train. And it has dramatic views of some of Norway's best fjords. We started our journey by heading out through Oslo's central train station and taking our train to Myrdal, where we then switched to the scenic and classic Fläm Railway and continued on to Fläm. Granted that footage from a moving train out the window isn't necessarily the greatest, but even though the weather wasn't perfect for us, the views were absolutely breathtaking. And since this is a video about our travels to Fläm, Norway, I wanted to include as much of the scenery that we saw because it was just beautiful.
We will arrive at Oslo in about 5 to 6 minutes.
The Fläm Scenic Railway is considered one of the most beautiful in the world. Oh, there's Tim and Lori waving to us. In 1908, the Norwegian Parliament decided to build the railway line between Myrdal and Fläm, and the work didn't begin until 1923, and it was only in 1946 that the railway line completed and finished. The Fläm Railway takes you through lush valleys, past roaring waterfalls, and up steep mountains, offering stunning views at every turn. And even though the weather was a bit rainy and windy, it was spectacular. The views were amazing. This was one of the waterfalls that we stopped at that was just spectacular. Peggy and Lori, Tim's wife, decided they could see the waterfall just fine from inside the train where it was dry. And if you look carefully in the mist, you will see the Lady in Red. A mysterious woman with long hair and a red dress emerges from the forest, dancing to the Norwegian folk song. She is the Huldra, an elusive forest spirit from Norse mythology who lures men to the woods to seduce them. The day we arrived in Fläm, the weather was quite wet, but never let that discourage you. Never let that spoil your vacation. Just enjoy the beauty that's before you. And just so you can get a different perspective and educate you what it looks like at other times of the year, here's some footage provided by some other folks that provide a different perspective when the weather was a bit better. We stayed at the Fredheim Hotel in Fläm. We had a nice little balcony with a view out at the front. Taking a walk around the hotel, just hundreds and hundreds of waterfalls. Can't even describe how many there are that you can see and the ones you can't see, but it's just amazing. We're in the town of Fläm, pronounced Fläm. I decided to take a hike up one of the trails behind the hotel and take a view from up atop overlooking the Fjord. These are all electric vehicles ready to plug in here of their facilities. Norway has the highest percentage of electric vehicle adoption in the world at 90%. Lots of trees down. The next day we had plenty of opportunity to explore and look around, but the highlight of the day was the ferry ride over to the Viking Village, the cultural Viking Village. Now the Viking Village itself, well, it was a little lame. I think even Michelle, the rest of the group all agreed that next time that could be skipped. It was still interesting, but just not the highlight. The highlight was the ferry ride over down through the fjord. Just absolutely amazing. As we neared the Viking village, we came across this mining operation, which I thought was interesting. The Viking Cultural Village really goes into Viking history, which spans roughly from 793 to 1066 AD. I thought the blacksmith shop in the Viking village was particularly interesting. Hi, you go puppy? Some of the authentic reconstructions showing how Vikings lived in their houses, half buried in the ground, covered with sod roofs, I thought was also really interesting to see.
The roof, so if I stop and let you out and I just go, then I close the tunnel. Police come and pick you up after a few minutes.
Wow.
In the summer, there's lots of problem. People with bicycle, there is not allowed to use a bicycle, and tourists on bicycle, they just go into the tunnel. Then the tunnel is closed.
No.
Sounds
If
like
there is no police, like in a few minutes away, the tunnel is closed till they get out of the tunnel. So if one starts to bicycle from Gudvangen, it takes approximately 1 hour before it is on the top. And then you can think there are a line of cars in both ends.
Yeah.
sounds like you've stopped and kicked people out before.
Yeah,
so you know, yeah.
Even if you stop and you open these fire locks, you see there is telephone, and if you only open the door, the tunnel is closed straight away.
Wow. Love it. Great safety precautions. So does something come down to close it, or?
Yeah, there is gates.
Yeah.
These trucks there.
The next day, our group had a Fjord safari where they got into a fast boat, suited up with water gear, and headed for another excursion into the fjords to see the natural beauty there. Unfortunately, when I put on my suit, it was an XXL, fit fine from a waist perspective, from a size perspective that way, but it was short for the torso, between the crotch and the shoulders. It's like putting on a straitjacket. So after trying that, said, nope, that's not going to work. They got me a second suit, tried that on. That wasn't going to work either. So I let the group leave without me. I wasn't about to wear a straitjacket for an hour and a half. I've done it before, and it's just not fun. I'm just kidding. And then later on, when they got back from the group, Michelle said they did find a extra tall suit, and I was able to go, or could have been able to go with another group that wasn't our group later on that afternoon. But at that point, I was kind of already over it, so I didn't go. That evening left plenty of time to explore the shops, bakeries, and restaurants of the Fläm Village Center. And several groups of us went out to eat. A group of us went to the local brewery where we had a great meal and some really good beer. The next day, we were off on a 5.5-hour high-speed ferry ride to the city of Bergen, Norway, enjoying the beautiful fjords of Norway along the way. I'm going to leave the sound up on the next couple of clips so that you can feel the power of the engines from this ferry. This gives you a look of what it's like on this ferry as I open the doors and go inside. There's Michelle standing up, putting on her jacket. There's Peggy. And there's Lori and Tim. Hi, guys. Hi, Lori. Okay, let's transition to the construction update on what happened while we were gone. I received these images from the waterproofing and drain guys showing what they did. And some of what I saw while we were overseas just concerned me with the way the Flast-Foot really wasn't being coated with the thick material that I thought it was going to be. And we saw that there wasn't a lot of wall prep done. So that was a red flag, something that we needed to address. And I did so. We'll have an update on that once we return to the regular construction video schedule here. But these are the drain tile going in. The drain tile was also put in so that all of the water from the slab on grade portion was being channeled into the basement down to the sump pump, which is specifically what I asked them not to do. So they also had to come back and correct that as well once we got back. Luckily, the company was very good at doing the right thing and coming back out and correcting the situation. Here's the dimple board that's been applied for the basement portion that's underground. The other items that got completed while we were gone was the truss installation to the ledger board and the Advantech flooring being applied by Nortech Contracting. They came in and got that done. And this video provided by them is the manual drone. I think that's what we'll call that. It gives you kind of an aerial view of the site as it was then, including the shed roof, which they also completed. And that's the update for today. Thanks, guys. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week when we do a video on the city of Bergen, and then we're going to have another video on the city of Bruges, and then we'll return to our normal construction updates.